Guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Netta. In today's video, I just wanted to come on and chat to the teenage moms out there. Um, the reason why I felt the need to do this video is because me and my oldest son, we were talking last night. It's pretty cool. We stayed up till I think I finally told him we need to get to bed at about 11:30 p.m. last night. I got in the house late. We had dinner, and then me and him just start to talk, and that's kind of like what happens with me and my kids. Like, we get in the house, we start on our just routine, and we talk about our day, and then sometimes it goes on and on. But with me and my oldest son, we just start talking about life stuff, and he asked me, he said, "Mom, what's the hardest job that you've ever had?" And I said to him, I said, to be honest, the hardest job I have ever had was being a mom. And he's like, yeah, he's like, I can imagine that's really hard. And I told him, like, yeah, it's a really hard job. And he was telling me, in his response today, he was like, yeah, he was like, I'm not sure, if I want to have kids yet. Which for me, I had bias when I first. I was like, "What you mean you don't want to have kids?" Because when how I was growing up, it wasn't a question of do you want to have kids. It was more so like you go to school, you graduate, you get a degree, you meet someone, you fall in love, you get married, you have kids. It's kind of like a checklist of life. It's just what you did. And so when he told me he wasn't sure if he even wanted to have kids, I was kind of like, what? Like grandkids? And, I was like, I do want grandkids eventually one day. And then he was like, well, you got, my brothers and sisters. And I'm like, and then in that moment, I had to check myself, like he does not have to have kids if he doesn't want to. But the fact that he's 16 years old and we were having that type of conversation, was eye-opening for me. And then I started thinking back to myself, like I was 17 years old when I had him. And looking in retrospect, I remember being 17. I remember finding out I was pregnant. I remember feeling so scared, and no matter what age you have your kids at, you can never be ready, but it's even harder when you're a kid having a kid. And so I figured, from having this long conversation with him, and he just told me all about his dreams and his goals and how he just wants to change the world. And he was like, I think I want to get my degree and really establish myself and make changes in the world before I even think about having kids. And I had to check myself, and I was like, yeah, you have that right. You can wait on it if you want to. If you want to have kids, you can have kids. If you decide in life that you don't want to have kids, you actually don't have to have kids. That is a personal choice. So it got me to think about my own life. And in that moment, I was so proud. I wished that I could go back and tell my 17-year-old self, who was holding him as this little bitty infant, scared to death, the subject of much ridicule, that, hey, Netta, like, right now it looks like this, but 15, 16 years from now, you're going to be so proud of this young man. And I am, in that moment, I was so proud of him, because you have those small windows as a parent where, first of all, you don't know if you're doing the right thing. You don't know. You don't have all the answers, and you don't know if you're raising your kids right. You don't always know if you're making the right choices. You don't, especially when they become teenagers and you're going through that teenage rebellion, and they constantly tell you that you're ruining their life. And as a parent, you're like, sometimes you're like, whatever, you exaggerate. And then other times you're like, am I? And so for me, having that conversation with him and seeing his thought process, like he's already thinking so far out, when he thinks of himself. And I had these type of conversations with all my kids, but it was a proud mom moment for me, that when he looks at himself down the line, he sees himself educated. He sees himself changing the world in a positive way. And as a parent, you need those little moments of confirmation because they really do guide you and let you know, like, hey, I'm not doing as bad at this parenting thing as I thought I was. So that's what prompted today's video. I did write down some things that I wanted to say to you if you are a teen mom, if you are about to have your baby, if you've had your baby, if you've been a teen mom for a while, maybe your baby 1, 2, 3 years old. Because I've been there, I've walked in your shoes, and it does get better. And so I just wanted to take some time out of my day to talk to teen moms out there because it really is stressful. It really is hard. And I want to encourage you and let you know that you got this. So that was the first thing. You got this, okay? The first thing I'll say is it starts with your body, okay? Like, please don't fall into that snapback culture, okay? You do not have to snap back. Your body is literally producing a human being. It takes 9 months for your body to go through this process. And so I feel like when you're in high school, when you're a teenager, you already suffering with your self-esteem. You're already looking at your body. You're already concerned about acne or a pimple or I don't have boobs or my boobs are too big or I'm fat or I'm skinny. Like, your self-esteem is already still developing and fragile. Then you throw pregnancy and postpartum and looking at the changes that your body is going through. So if nobody has told you that, Netta wants to speak to my teen moms today and tell you that you don't have to snap back. That thought process, I don't know where it came from, but it's unrealistic and it's dangerous to try to force your body to go back to what it was before you had a baby, before you were pregnant in a short amount of time. Give your body time to heal. Look at your body and still love your body because your body just did a great, magnificent, miraculous thing. It produced another human being. It carried and nurtured another human being. Give it time to get back to where it was. It will get back to where it was. That's one of the benefits of having a baby young, right? It's gonna snap back. It's gonna come back. You bounce back a lot faster the younger you have your kids. But don't rush it, okay? Give your body time to recuperate. Give yourself time to recuperate. So that's the first thing. You don't gotta snap back. The other thing I said that I would want someone to tell me that I'll tell you is you deserve to cry. You deserve to be frustrated. You deserve to get angry. You deserve to feel overwhelmed. All the emotions that comes with being a new mom, all the emotions that come with being a parent in general, you deserve to be able to feel that. When I was a teen mom, I felt like the thing was that, oh, I don't deserve to cry. Oh, I don't deserve when the baby was crying all night long and I couldn't get the baby, my baby or my son to get back to sleep. And I literally had to be up for school, up and getting ready for school at 6 in the morning. And here we are sitting at 4:30 in the morning. And I've been rocking this baby and walking back and forth with this baby since 2:30 in the morning. And he'll drift off to sleep and wake back up and I am exhausted. And I felt like people would make me feel like I didn't deserve to feel exhausted because I was a teen mom, because I shouldn't have got pregnant in the first place. That is unfair for people to do that to you. Don't listen to them. Because if you listen to them and you let that pressure come on you, you end up having a nervous breakdown. You'll end up being depressed. It's already enough that you're a mom, a child, and you're trying to go to school and you're trying to establish your future now, not only for yourself, but for your child too. So you do deserve to cry. You deserve to close your door and scream and let it out, especially if the father isn't there and he ain't helping. You deserve to scream, you deserve to cry, you deserve to feel overwhelmed, you deserve to let the house be a little messy, okay? Because if you're doing it by yourself and you don't have any help, then things are not going to be perfect. And life in general isn't perfect. Life is actually very messy. We like to try to make it perfect, but it is not. And so that's the other thing that I would say is that you do deserve to feel overwhelmed. You deserve to feel everything any other mom would feel in the exact same situation. Just because you're a teen mom don't make you any less of a mother. You're still a mother. You're still raising a child. And if anything, you're definitely in a harder situation because you're still trying to establish yourself and make things and, make a future for you on top of the pressure that you're going to get for your peers, because we all know kids at school can be jerks. Let's just be honest. And people are going to talk about you. They're going to say things about you. And so you're dealing the stress of that. And then whatever stress and pressures that's coming with being a teen mom from your family. So please, you deserve to cry if you need to cry. And then when you get done crying, write down a list of goals. I would say time management is going to be the biggest thing. When that baby fall asleep, you take a nap too. Let yourself rest. Or if you don't feel tired when the baby is sleeping, use that time to take a hot bubble bath. Watch your favorite show. Talk to your girlfriend on the phone. Talk to your parents if you can. If you have that type of relationship, talk to your parents about what you're feeling, what you're going through. But you are allowed. It doesn't matter just because you're a teen mom. You are allowed to feel those feelings. The other thing is that being a teen mom does not define you. Being a mom is a part of who you are, but it does not define who you are, because a lot of people, we like to take things and label people and put them in this box, but you cannot be boxed. Being a teen mom, okay, you're a mom, but that doesn't define you as a person, okay? So if you were a cheerleader, you can still do your cheerleading while you're at school. Still go back and recapture as much of your childhood as you can. Go back to cheerleading. Return to student body government. Go back to participating in those things that are your passion. If you loved painting before you had your baby, continue to paint. If it's makeup, continue to do your makeup. Whatever your passions and your dreams are, don't sit those down and don't let those go just because you've become a parent. Find ways to still incorporate that in your life and find a balance, because you don't want to give up on that. Okay, that's who you are too. Being a teen mom is going to make you so much stronger as a person, because your drive and your viewpoint, the moment you find out you're pregnant, and then if you decide to keep your baby, the moment you have your baby, it's going to do a complete 360 from the rest of your friends. Your friends, their experience is no longer the same as yours, okay? So right now, they're living for themselves. They can go to the party, they can do this, they can do that, right? For you, it just changed. It's not about you anymore. It's about you and your baby. And that's going to make you're going to find your strength in that. It's going to mature you so much faster. You're going to think twice before you do stuff, because you're going to be thinking about, how is this going to impact my kid? You're going to work that much harder for your grades. You have to, because now you have this little person who's looking at you to show them the way, and you don't want to let them down. So it's hard. It's stressful. It is the toughest job and mentally draining. But at the same time, that being a mom and being a teen mom is going to challenge you, and it's going to push you in ways you never dreamt of before. But through that, you're going to find your empowerment. You're going to find your strength. You're going to find your drive. And you're going to find your will to keep going. because now you don't have a choice. You know, somebody, a teenager without kids, you know, they just living their teenage life. But for you, you gotta be successful. Your grades matter 10 times more now than theirs do, because you graduating from high school just became that more important. Okay, so even though it's hard, it's going to empower you, it's going to make you stronger, and it's going to make you better off in the long run. And then it's going to create experiences for you that you can share with your child as they get older, that maybe the other people don't have that experience that they can share. um the other thing I'll say is that it's okay to be a mess. It's okay to be a mess. If you just don't have the energy to put your hair up perfectly and do your makeup perfectly and have your nails and your toes done, like, that stuff doesn't matter as much anymore. It's okay to have off days, okay? Like, you busy trying to make sure your baby has everything that they need. Getting your nails and your toes done, going to the mall, going shopping, going to see a movie, hanging out with the theater, just isn't quite as important as making sure your baby has Pampers and diapers and milk and all of that whatnot. So it's okay to be a mess. It's okay. It'll be okay. You'll be a mess, and then the next day you won't be a mess. My kids are older in their days, but I am a complete mess still, okay? Especially on my off day. I'm just laying around like I don't care, all right? And then, because your viewpoints are different now from your friends, you're gonna have to build a network of fellow teen moms, because your friends, you can talk to them, you can vent to them, maybe, you know, they'll try their best to understand what you're going through, but nobody will ever be able to understand what you're going through. Not even your parents can wrap their mind literally around what you're feeling and what you're going through. And everybody can try, but the only person who's going to really be able to relate to you is other teen moms in a similar situation. So build yourself a support network of other teen moms. That way, if you want to go hang out, you can call up your girlfriend. Y'all can go to the theater. You can bring your babies. It can be a play day. And you have somebody to talk to who gets it and who understands. And you guys can feed off of each other's experience and positive energy to help get you through a difficult time. And then the last thing that I would say to you, if you are a teenage mom watching this video, is that it kind of brings us full circle to the beginning of the video, is that it does get better. It gets better. You'll wake up one day, your kid now, as you're a teenager, they'll be a teenager. You'll been and have grown up with them. The relationship, I feel, is a little bit different between teens having kids and people who had their kids a little bit older. To me, what I've seen is that the older you are when you have your kids, you're a little bit more disconnected. You know, the younger you are when you have your kids, you have an energy, you can better relate to them. So then, it'll come full circle. As you get older, your baby gets older, things will become easier, and you'll be able to really talk to them, and you'll be able to share your experience with them, and you'll be able to advise them and talk to your kid. And if there are parents of teen moms who are watching this video, I would say that to them as well. Keep lines of communication open, because it's so important. If talk to your kid when they become teenagers about your experience being a teen mom. I talk to my son about it. I don't talk to my daughter as much about it because she's still pretty young. But as she gets older, I talk to her about it, but not like I do my sons who are teenagers. And I tell them, don't do things in the moment. I tell them all the time, think twice about what you do before you do it. And I can have a certain conversation with them, and I can share this experience and this journey with them, what I've gone through, how hard it was, the nights that I've cried. As a single mom, sometimes I still cry, but it does get easier And in the long run, you'll be able to talk to your kids, share this experience with them, and help them avoid making the same mistakes you made, and or help them to become a better person. So yeah, keep lines of communication open. I think that's the hardest thing for us to do as parents, is to actually talk to our kids and keep it real and just be open and honest with them. But if you can do that, it's going to make things so much easier. And the relationship is just wonderful as they get older. Now you find yourself coming to a point where you can see this person grow up who you helped bring into the world. You didn't know what you were doing. You wasn't sure if you were going to make it. And then now you're looking at them tell you about their dreams, tell you about their college ambitions, tell you about their relationships, and they'll be happy to come to you and share that information with you because you've always been open with them. And I feel like that's the point where I'm at now, to the point that I was staying up till 11:30 last night with my oldest son, talking about life, him asking me about what it was like being a mom, and I could have an honest conversation with him and tell him, hey son, I was a teen mom, and that mess was hard, and that's not something that I would want for you. So think twice, and if you feel like you're ready to start having sex, come talk to me about that too, because I want you to be protected, and I want your future to be easier, and I want your life, and this is what I'm telling him, that I wanted his life to be easier, less stressful, less hard that mine was. And he sits and he listens to that and he goes, yeah. So that's it for today's video. I hope this video was able to reach someone, to encourage you, so that you know that you are not alone, and that it does get better. And having a baby is not the end of the world. It never has been. Women have been having babies since the beginning of time. And in earlier civilization, having a baby at 15, 16, 17 was not unheard of. As a matter of fact, it was the norm. So you'll get through it, you'll be fine, and you'll do great. All right, guys, well, that's it for today's video. I got to get out of here. I am on my way to the library to sit down with the kids. We're going to read books. I want to make sure they have their library cards. And I am showing the boys how to do their resume and fill out job applications today. I hope everybody's having a great day. Thank you for taking this time with me, and I'll see you next time. Mwah. Bye. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe. Okay.